Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setups for today. So my logic was sound yesterday, so we did have the trend line, and you can see how we are flirting with that trend line. And I left the levels in from yesterday on purpose, just to show you. I said to you yesterday, I'm not interested in shorts until we break below 15,681, and I'm also not interested in longs until we get above 15,745. Now we did make an attempt. But from an 8-hour perspective, tails to the downside, tails to the upside. That's Bob Wire. That's confusion, extreme confusion at the moment, and nobody really knows what's going on. So from a bullish perspective, we do have diversions here. I can see low, higher, low, but we are below the moving averages. So that's the only thing that is kind of bullish is the indicator. Diversions with a separator. So what I mean, separator, the two oscillators have separated and crossed over. So that's the only signal we have, so we'll just take that as an indicator that something is going on and nothing concrete on the table. And when we look at this on the 3-hour, that is sideways, and sideways means danger, and danger means stay away. When you see price action like this with multiple tails to the downside, multiple tails to the upside, there is chaos, and we know this is a strong weekly area, of support. You can see there, we know that. So let's not fight it, because every algorithm, every bank, every institution are trying to defend this, and then they're looking at this indicator here and saying this is looking really good for an opportunity to the upside, whereas the bears are saying, you know, we need to drive us to the downside. And this is a megaphone formation, and it's a megaphone formation in an upward trend, so the bias for the break is to the upside. But anyway, we need to wait for something to happen before we jump in. So at the moment, nothing really there on the 3-hour. If you drop down to the hour, even worse. So we started off down, as expected, buyers came in, barreled up to the top, got above it, bit of a trap for those that were waiting there long, and that's why you always wait for the break and then the retest of that level before taking it, because this here was people that jumped in long, and then immediately the stops started getting taken out, because people would be moving their stops up, take the stops, drives momentum, and then we barrel back down to the downside for another retest, and then we just get confused. So you can see how this trend line is playing, influencing price at the moment as well. So looking at it on the hour, there is no opportunity here. So the logic is still the same for me. This does look like a potential rounding bottom. We do have the slower moving averages coming together, but these two levels are the ones that I need to see break convincingly before picking a direction. So if you look at the 15-minute, you can see what I'm talking about. Complete chaos here. Gap up above there, massive trap, pull back, trigger stops all over the place. But you can see we've sort of meandered back to this level here. We've crossed over all the moving averages. The oscillators are not in our favor at the moment. So that is why this is still my level that we need to pay attention to. So what I want to see is I want to see a pullback onto structure. So 15,745, break above it, come back and test it properly. This bar here was a fairly decent test, but there was no follow through, so not valid. But I want something like this, big inside bar, something like this, big pin bar. That's kind of the structure that I want on the retest. So let the price run past it, let price come back and test this area, and that's what we're looking for an opportunity long. Shorts only come into play once we have a convincing break below 15,681, and I'm very reluctant to even jump in on that. I'd probably leave it for the full day before looking at it, because that is a very strong weekly support level. Okay, so anyway, so that's kind of my view today. I hope it helps. If it does, drop us a thumbs up there. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And we will catch up with you on Monday morning. Enjoy your weekend. And for those rugby supporters, enjoy the rugger. Cheers for now.